A book I've reread the most is The Six of Crows duology. I love it so much, and I feel like my outfit today is very Crows aesthetic too, even with the dark eyes. Like, I tried to do smoky eye, but I feel like I'm giving more raccoon energy than like smoky eye. But it's okay, it's okay. It's fine. Hey guys, Angelina, welcome back to my channel. I recently saw Steph Bohr's new video on book recommendations. She essentially did a tag on her book recommendations, and I thought, oh, that actually seems kind of cool, and I kind of want to do that. I took these questions from her and I'm gonna answer them today. Let's dive right in. First question is, a book you tell people is your favorite. My favorite book that I tell most people is The Seven Husbands. Ow, I'm sorry. It's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I love this book so much. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And you've probably heard of Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like, I have mentioned her in probably a lot of my videos. I love her writing. I really connect with the way she writes her books. So this is a story about a woman named Evelyn, and she's trying to get her big break essentially, and she eventually breaks through in the 60s and she becomes this huge Hollywood icon. And she has a pretty scandalous life, because if you can't tell by the title, she has 7 freaking husbands. You get to know more about her life, and you eventually come to know that Evelyn's life is not as it seems. That's where I'm gonna leave it at. Second question, a book that is your guilty pleasure. I'm gonna talk about a series that you guys have probably heard me talk about a million and 10 times on my channel, and that is the Bridgerton series. I have the intention of buying every single TV tie-in cover that I can get my hands on. But yeah, these are my guilty pleasures because I usually don't gravitate towards historical romances that are just like heavy on the romance aspect. I usually like romances subplot and like historical romances that are usually set around wartime. I don't know why I gravitate towards those books, but it's kind of like a genre I really love reading, which is a weird thing to say. Maybe there's something to unpack there, but let's not get into that. Julia Quinn, she's more of an accessible Jane Austen to me. Her books are really easy to read. Are they like masterpieces? No, because they're very deep in misogyny. These books came out the year I was born, so there are a lot of things in here that today's audience would not be happy about seeing in a book. That's why I would say these are my guilty pleasure. I love these books, even with all of its problems, which I've heard is what true love is, you know? You love the flaws too. I love the characters in the show, which actually bleeds into like my perspective on the books, which is not healthy, but guilty pleasure, guys, guilty pleasure. That's the only way I'm gonna justify this. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. A book everyone loved but you didn't. Okay, so this is a book I've seen so many times on TikTok, which is actually why I picked it up in the first place. It's called It Happened One Summer. I think it's by Tessa Bailey. I really hated it. Oh my gosh, I did not like this book at all. I didn't like the girl in this at all. The guy was a beanie loving sailor man. My main issue was with the girl. I did not like her character at all. She was giving rich LA girl with big dumb blonde energy. I'm so sorry if I'm offending you by saying this. I found no common ground. I found no connection. I didn't find her likable. It's just like, I don't like her. And I felt so left out because I watched a video with Jack Edwards where he read all of these popular TikTok books. I think he read this book and he gave it 4 stars. I was scandalized. Even Jack Edwards likes this book and I don't. I felt so left out. I like the second book in the series a lot better. It's called Hook, Line, and Sinker. I'm glad these books have an audience that really love them, but I'm sorry I couldn't be one with the TikTok girlies on this one. It wasn't for me. Okay, question number 4. A book you read the fastest. I read Verity the fastest. I now see this a very problematic answer given all the discourse online on Colleen Hoover, but I really enjoyed the book, and at that time in my life I was going through a really bad reading slump, and then I read Verity and I heard it was different from all of her other books, so I was excited to go into it. I know a lot of people still hate the book, but I still like it because it got me out of a really bad reading slump. I wouldn't say like the book was comforting. It was disturbing at times. It has a lot of smut in it, which is like staple for all the Colleen Hoover books out there, but I still liked it and I would recommend it. It was interesting, kept you on your toes, which is great, which made me realize that I might be a little more into mystery thrillers than I thought I was. Okay, a book that deserves more hype. A Chauffeur 2 by Tashi Bhuyan. It's an enemies to lovers book. This girl who's Bengali, she's in high school and she's trying to get into film school, and then she bumps into this guy in her school who's actually an indie actor in disguise, and he's just trying to get a feel for what high school was like. I think it was for like a movie role or something for which he did that. And fun fact, this is actually based on Tom Holland actually visiting Tashi's school, and she got to meet him, and there are videos about him on her Instagram. You guys should check that out. The fact that she modeled this character after Tom Holland, I love that she got inspiration from this little encounter. Well, not little, quite a big encounter from Tom Holland, and the fact that she wrote a book on it is so cool. The next question, a book that is becoming a movie slash TV show. I know Daisy Jones and the Six is becoming a TV show adaptation. I have it right here actually. this beauty. Also, like, look at the person on the cover. The person they cast as Daisy Jones, they look exactly the same. Like, it's crazy. Another Taylor Jenkins Reid book that's also getting adapted is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I definitely want to see this. I heard this is becoming a movie, and I have conflicting feelings about that. I feel like it would have done a lot better being a series, you know? Imagine this, a Netflix series with each episode dedicated to a husband. So there are 7 husbands that would occupy 7 episodes. And then the last 8 episodes, because Netflix loves an 8-episode arc, the last episode could have been named Evelyn. Like, imagine that. I want to be a TV writer now. Because there's just a lot of material in this. And if it was a series, we'd get an in-depth look on each of the characters and their arc and their stories and how they're feeling. We'd be more in touch with that. I don't know if they can convey the same things in like an hour-and-a-half movie, you know? But then again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. These are, you know, Hollywood people. They probably know what they're doing. So I'm gonna trust them, trust the process, and not be super judgy. But I still feel like a series approach would have been better. Next one, a book you have reread the most. A book I've reread the most is The Six of Crows duology. Look at how much I've tapped it. I usually don't tap books at all. This is the only book where I've tapped, and I've tapped a crazy bunch because I love this book to death. It has my favorite trope, which is found family, and the characters in this book have my heart and soul. I love it so much, and I feel like my outfit today is very Crows aesthetic too, even with the dark eyes. Like, I tried to do a smoky eye, but I feel like I'm giving more raccoon energy than like smoky eye. But it's okay, it's fine. I've probably reread this about 3 or 4 times. I love them so much, and I love Knej. Like, most of these tabs I feel like are Kaz and Annette scenes. Definitely Kaz and Annette scenes. I love them. Oh. If you guys know Sunny Kim, I will like frequently go and rewatch the Knej video essay. It is a video essay. It's like 20 minutes or something, or like 16 minutes. She has 2 parts to it, and every now and then I'll go rewatch it and just remember how much I fangirled reading this book for the first time. And I always say this book, but really I mean these 2 together. For me, this is one comprehensive story. Okay, next question. A book from a genre you don't typically read. I don't like spooky books. That's usually a genre I don't venture into unless it's like Halloween season, you know? Like, I'm just there like, I need to be one with the crowd, and I get FOMO, and then I start reading all these spooky books that I don't like. But yeah, I did read one that I really liked. I actually read it this year in January. It's called Hacienda, and oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. And the spooky vibes in it were just right for someone like me who's a scaredy cat. Oh my gosh, the love story, the forbidden love in this book. It had me in a chokehold. This is about a haunted hacienda, which this woman, she marries this man, and she, you know, becomes the owner of this hacienda, and she discovers like sinister things like in it, and she's trying to convince other people of it, but no one wants to believe her except this one priest guy. And there is just this attraction between the 2 that's just beautiful and forbidden. It's creepy, but it's also romantic. It's great. It has a great romance subplot, and I primarily loved it for the romance subplot. Next question, a book that deserves all the hype it gets. Definitely Babel by R.F. Kuang. That is such a big fat chunky book. It took me forever to get through, and I feel like I didn't read it at a time in my life that I was supposed to consume that book, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I would have appreciated that book a lot more had I read it at a different time in my life. You know, I still read it because everyone else was reading it. Again, I'm a victim of FOMO, but I think I can still appreciate the book for what it is. It was a stellar book, I have to say. Like, you can see how much research and how much love and care the author put into this book. It's really worth all the hype and more. I think R.F. Kuang did a fantastic job, and I feel like a lot more people should read it. Question number 10, a book you usually recommend when asked to give recommendations. Definitely The Six of Crows duology and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is my all-time favorite book. I'm not a fantasy girly at all. Like, world building really drains me out because I feel like my brain cells have to work twice as hard, and usually when I read, I kind of want to like zone out and just be in a simple like contemporary world where I don't have to think twice as hard to like keep up with what's happening. But Six of Crows definitely broke that curse for me, I feel like. Question number 11, we're almost done, guys. We have 15 questions. A book that has your favorite character. Book lovers, I love Charlie Lastra. I have talked about this book countless times. This is my favorite Emily Henry book, and it's Enemies to Lovers. Charlie in my head was Jonathan Bailey. I highly recommend if you have like a celebrity crush, even if the physical attributes of that person doesn't match up with Charlie, still cast that person. You would love it. That is my little hack on enjoying books a lot more. I definitely would recommend all of the Crows and Six of Crows too. Even Matthias, even Mr. Grumpy Pants. I love it with all of my heart. This is just me trying to shove down Six of Crows and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo onto you. Am I winning? Please let me know. Okay, a book you wish to live in. I just finished Once Upon a Broken Heart, and book 2 in that series, I don't know if it's called Once Upon a Broken Heart, if that's the name of the series, but it's by Stephanie Garber, and oh my gosh, the world she describes in it. It's like the exact same fairy tale, folklore, like world I grew up absolutely loving. You know, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, like all the world described in those books. This is absolutely beautiful, and I love all the characters, and it's just, I want to live with them. I know it's like not safe, but and I'll probably die, but I don't know, it feels like a world made with hopes and dreams, and I want to be a part of it, even if it's for a good day and then I die. I'll die happy then. Yeah. Okay, question number 13. A book you thought you would hate better than the movies. I thought I genuinely would hate this, but I am so glad I was wrong. I thought it would be cheesy and cliche, which honestly it is, but I still enjoyed it. Like, I felt like the writer catered to all of the things I loved in this book. Like, this was written for me. I was the target audience for this, and I just loved it. It's about a girl named Liz and a guy named Wes. They're enemies and they eventually become lovers. It's just such a good book. It has a lot of rom-com references and it has a special place in my heart, and that's why I got the physical copy too. Okay, a book that made you cry. A Man Called Ube. I got this book from Thrift Books actually. Someone actually like did like math work on here. As you can tell, this is thrifted, but oh my gosh, I freaking love this. I freaking love Ube. If you ever watched Up, you know, the Pixar movie with like the grumpy old guy, if there was a book that's basically based on the love story in that movie, this would be that book. It's by Frederick Brockman and it's absolutely immaculate. The way Ube talks about his wife Sonia is just so freaking romantic, and I wish someone talked about me that way. It makes me feel so freaking single. Okay, no, I'm just getting bitter, but oh my gosh, this book is great. Go read it. That's just me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. Okay, last question, guys. We're almost there. A book you wish you could read for the first time. I definitely want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart again and have my heart broken again. Book 2 will emotionally demolish you. Go read it. Anxious People by Frederick Brockman. I was bawling my eyes out by the end of this, so I definitely want to reread again. And I feel like now is the perfect time because I'm foggy on a lot of things that have happened in this book. I read this 2 years ago and I don't remember as much, so I would love to reread that and remember what it was like reading it for the first time. Malibu Rising is another book I want to read again for the first time because this was so good, guys, and it's also matching my nails, which I love. But I actually never wanted to pick this up, which is crazy because after reading it, I'm like, I am stupid. So yeah, that's all of the questions. Now you can see the kind of books I like. You can get a little taste for it, and I hope that you guys do read these books, and if you do read them, please come and tell me about them because I love talking about these books, especially if they are my recommendations. I love it when people talk to me highly about the books that I recommend. But yeah, that's all of it, guys. All my social links will be down there in the description box, so you guys can check that out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.